Before we begin, imagine this. You sleep one night in your new apartment. At 7 in the morning, a key turns in the door. A family walks in with suitcases. They say you are inside their home. Listen carefully. This is I moved into an apartment that wasn't mine. My name is Naomi Reed. I was 24 when I moved into an apartment that was not mine. I had slept there for only one night. At 7 on Sunday morning, I heard a key turn in the front door. I sat up on the sofa. For one confused second, I thought it was my friend Leah. Then the door opened. A woman in a red travel coat walked in with a suitcase. A man and a little boy stood behind her. The woman saw my shoes by the sofa. Then she saw me. She dropped her suitcase and screamed, "Who are you?" I pulled the blanket around my shoulders. "Who are you?" I asked. The little boy held his father's hand. He looked frightened. On the wall behind them was the same boy in a family photograph. The man stepped in front of his family and took out his phone. "I am calling the police," he said. "You are inside our home." 3 weeks earlier, I had been celebrating. I had found a new job at a dental clinic across the city. It paid better than my cafe job, and the manager promised regular hours. There was only one problem. My old room was almost 2 hours away by bus. If I missed the last connection, I had to pay for a taxi. I searched for apartments every night. Most were too expensive. Some had no windows. One room was so small that the bed touched 3 walls. On Thursday evening, I saw a new listing. The photographs showed a bright one-bedroom apartment near the clinic. It had a blue sofa, a clean kitchen, and morning light across the floor. The rent was lower than other apartments in the area, but not impossibly low. I sent a message before I could lose my courage. A man named Daniel Price answered in less than 2 minutes. He said the apartment belonged to his sister. She and her family had moved overseas for 1 year, and he was managing the property for them. "Can I see it?" I asked. "Tomorrow at 6, he replied. "But I should warn you. 2 other people are interested." The next day, Leah came with me. She said a second pair of eyes could notice what Hope missed. Daniel was waiting in the building lobby. He wore a clean charcoal coat and carried a black document folder. He knew the door code and greeted a neighbor by name. Upstairs, his key opened the apartment. Everything looked exactly like the photographs. The blue sofa was beside the window. Cups stood in the kitchen. Books filled a shelf. Daniel explained that his sister had left some furniture because shipping it overseas cost too much. One bedroom door was locked. "Family storage," he said. "Old boxes and a child's bed. It is not part of the rental." Leah looked at the family photographs in the hallway. "Why did they leave these?" Daniel smiled sadly. "My sister planned to return for them. Then her son's school started early." His answer came quickly. Every answer came quickly. He showed us a printed rental agreement. His name appeared under the words property manager. The monthly rent matched the listing. Then he looked at his phone. "The next woman will be here in 20 minutes. I cannot hold the apartment without a deposit." My chest tightened. I imagined waking at 6 instead of 4. I imagined walking to my new job. Leah quietly said, "We can check his name first." Daniel heard her. He closed the folder. "That is sensible," he said. "But I need to be fair to the next person." He did not sound angry. He sounded professional. That made me trust him more. I signed the agreement and transferred the deposit from my bank. Daniel sent a receipt immediately. Before we left, Leah checked the building directory. It listed apartment numbers, but not owners. I still do not like the pressure, she said outside. I saw the apartment, I answered. His key worked. What else was I supposed to check? Daniel gave me the keys on Saturday morning after I transferred the first month's rent. Leah helped me carry 2 suitcases and 6 boxes upstairs. She placed a small plant beside the blue sofa. Your first real home, she said. For the first time in weeks, I felt my body relax. That evening, I cooked pasta in the clean kitchen. I called my mother and showed her the apartment on video. Near the locked bedroom, I noticed a child's drawing on the wall. It showed 3 people holding hands under a yellow sun. At the bottom, in careful blue letters, someone had written our home. I sent Daniel a message. Should the family pictures and drawings stay here? He replied, yes. My sister wants them safe. I slept on the sofa because my new bed was arriving on Monday. Then Sunday morning came and the real family opened the door. The woman in the red coat was Sarah Malik. The man was her husband, Omar. The little boy was their son, Sammy. They had not moved overseas. They had been visiting Omar's parents for 10 days. We do not know anyone named Daniel Price, Sarah said. I showed her my rental agreement with shaking hands. She read her address, my name, and Daniel's false signature. Omar did not lower his phone. Anyone can print a paper, he said. Anyone can also make a false police call, I answered. My fear had become anger. 2 officers arrived. They asked everyone to wait in the hallway. Neighbors opened their doors. One woman lifted her phone and began recording. I stood beside my boxes wearing yesterday's sweater. The plant Leah gave me was still on the window. One officer checked my agreement and bank receipt. The other asked Sarah to prove she owned the apartment. Daniel's phone went directly to a recorded message. His account on the rental website had disappeared. The building manager, Mrs. Cole, arrived with a large ring of keys. She recognized Sarah immediately. This family has lived here for 5 years, she told the officers. My face became hot. I wanted the floor to open. Sarah looked inside at my boxes. Her anger changed, but it did not disappear. You were tricked, she said. But we still need our home back. I understood. Understanding did not give me another place to sleep. Then the elevator doors opened. A young man stepped out carrying a box marked kitchen. 2 movers followed him with a small table. Hello, he said. I am Evan. I am moving into apartment 4B. Everyone became silent. Evan showed us a rental agreement for the same apartment. His landlord used the name Michael Dean. He had paid a deposit that morning. He had been told the locked bedroom was his room and that another tenant would use the living room. The agreements looked different, but both messages contained the same strange sentence: I need to be fair to the next person. One officer asked Evan to call his landlord. A phone rang inside the black document folder on top of Evan's box. Evan opened it. The folder contained only his agreement. The sound came from a cheap second phone hidden under the papers. The officer answered. Nobody spoke. Then the caller ended the connection. Mrs. Cole took us to the building office. The entry camera saved short recordings when someone used the front code. We searched Friday evening, the time Daniel showed me the apartment. There he was in his charcoal coat. On the recording, he did not enter with a resident key. He followed a repair worker through the door. Mrs. Cole remembered him. 3 months earlier, he had worked for a company that repaired water damage in the building. He had entered Sarah's apartment with a supervised team. He had seen the layout, the photographs, and the spare key box used during repairs. The rental photographs were not new. They came from an old sale listing that still appeared on another website. In the original kitchen photograph, Sarah, Omar, and Sammy were reflected in a glass cabinet. The fake listing had cut that part away. The police did not tell us that one clue would return our money. They said the messages, bank records, phone, and camera recording gave them a path to follow. While we waited, Evan's phone made a sound. The fake landlord had created a message group by mistake. A third person named Priya wrote, "I am outside the bank. I will send the deposit now." I called her before anyone could stop me. "Do not send it," I said. "Who is this?" "My name is Naomi. I slept in the apartment last night. The real family came home this morning." Priya did not believe me. I would not have believed me either. Sarah took the phone. "The apartment in the photographs is my home," she said. "Please come to the building before you pay." 20 minutes later, Priya arrived without a moving truck and without an empty bank account. She carried another agreement and another landlord name. By noon, Sarah's hallway held 3 victims, 2 police officers, 1 tired family, and 7 different sets of printed promises. Leah came as soon as I called. She helped move my boxes into her brother's van. Before I left, Sarah stood beside the blue sofa. "This morning, I thought you were the danger," she said. "This morning, I thought this was my home," I answered. Neither of us knew what else to say. For 2 weeks, I slept on Leah's sofa. My bank tried to recover the transfer, but it could not promise anything. The dental clinic manager changed my schedule until I found a small room closer to work. It had an old carpet, 1 narrow window, and no blue sofa. The landlord met me at his office. I checked the address, his identification, and the property record before I paid. On my first night there, I placed Leah's plant beside the window. My phone showed a message from Sarah. "The police found the man from the camera recording," she wrote. "The case is not finished, but Priya kept her money because you called." I looked around my little room. It was not the beautiful apartment from the photographs. It was not the home I imagined. But when I locked the door, the key in my hand belonged there. Thank you for watching English Journey Adventures. Listen again for stronger English. Read the words. Repeat the lines. See you in the next journey.